Welcome to the Wally Show Aftercast. Some of the stuff that we did not get to during the course of the show today, including, you know what, I just want to be thankful right now today for a hot second for the potties. I'd gotten an email from a person the other day that was trying to figure out, like, why they could hear the radio station on an HD channel because we weren't there anymore, and this worship thing, because we're all part of this ministry called Hope Media. And I was explaining that to him and stuff, and he's like, yeah, I'm a potty. I listen every day. And I was like, man, that's really cool. Like, I love the people that go that deeper level and listen to the podcast and the Aftercast. And, you know, it's not lost on us that is super humbling, because there's a bunch of podcasts you can listen to, you know, and so the fact that you choose to spend time here, just thank you very much. We appreciate you. Okay, so here's some of the stuff that got me going today. There is Costco. I love Costco. Mm-hmm. Betty, you don't have a Costco membership.
Right, so I don't know what they sell, what they don't sell.
You talked about trying to go yesterday.
I know. Betty and I went to lunch yesterday. Yeah, Gavin's like, fine, I had to leave early. Well, don't leave early. No.
Did you pay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry. So we went.
Breakfast.
I know. So Betty's like, lunch yesterday and breakfast today free for her.
Listen,
you guys went to Chewy's?
We went to Chewy's,
Love
yeah.
that.
We got churros, too.
Look at you guys.
I first mentioned Waffle House, and he was like,
it's weird for lunch, but I would do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were talking about how Betty gets what she wants, and she's like, that's not true. I'm like, it's okay. We all live in that world. It's fine.
But here's another example of how I don't get my way all the time.
Oh, would you have wanted to go to Waffle House?
First time.
I told you we could go. Like, I even said,
you weren't happy about. You weren't excited about it.
I very rarely get what I want, whether it's work or home.
Please.
Like, no,
you always get your
in
way.
my personal life,
And if you
never.
don't, you throw a hissy fit.
You live to serve.
At work, I get what I want a lot of times because I'm just loud and I'm pushy and I'll make it happen.
I mean, we're scared not to.
Yeah.
I'm scared to either of you.
Yeah, absolutely, and we like you that
where
way.
I want you.
Yeah. Betty and I are the same person.
I know. You just like having a little guy over here to
it's pretty great.
Keebler Elf to pick on.
It's pretty great. But like in my personal life, you know, my wife runs the show. You guys know that. Like at home,
Yeah.
she decides
she
where
know
we
that?
eat. Oh, yeah. Like she knows. She says she does. Like you, she feigns that she doesn't control everything, but she knows in her soul, like that she does.
Here's what I would say. I would say I know that I control a couple of things, but it was hard earned, and it needed to be because I have to put up with a lot.
Sure. I have come to understand our relationship, Betty Lou, in that I realize there are certain things about me that make me challenging, but they also make me good at this. But it can make me challenging to be around, the way my brain works, the way I do things, the way I think. And you and I aren't always on that same page. But the thing that works, and we talked about this at lunch the other day, the thing that makes it work is that on the main things, we are very similar. We know what's funny. We both find most of the same things funny. We know
even
the commitment
when you try
to the work.
To act too.
Oh, yeah.
Even when you're like, that's not funny.
Yeah, we know she knows.
You know it's hilarious.
Yeah, we know she knows.
I don't know.
But she has to say
That
it's
was
not funny.
the worst.
And so, like, that's why this works after so many years. But, like, I listen to you far more now on a lot of things than I did when you first started, because you were learning. Like, you didn't have the time in, and you needed to learn things. But then there was a shift at which I then started to go, okay, I can learn from her. There's things I can learn to be better at in how I work or in my own personal life and things like that. And so you actually have had, I yesterday too, we're going to post it today. It's me falling on ice and cracking my back, Forrest Frank style. But the Lord healed me instantly, which was great. It didn't make me suffer for 2 weeks.
What was your...
He healed me on the way down. Take that, Forrest.
He softened the blow.
The story behind that, though, was that once he got off track, that he didn't text me or call me about it, and he waited because he knew that I was going to be taking a nap.
Yeah, I knew she was going to take a nap, so I wasn't going to bother. I put it in the shared folder so that she could post it. I made the edit of it, because I had 2 different videos. I had my Ring doorbell, and then I was shooting another video just instead, and then I fell, so I'm glad I had both. But normally I would just post that. But she has things scheduled out to post, so I respected her work, and I said, okay, here it is. Time. Yeah, exactly, because if she works on something, and then I just... Because before I used to... Full disclosure... I would think that what I was doing was more important than everything else. And so I would just post it. And okay, if she had something else posted, it's fine. This is more important because I'm doing it. It's very egocentric. And so
Good to know.
No, but that's how I was. But what I'm saying is I learned over time.
I humbled you.
I learned over time, too, that you're doing good work. And so it's let her good work stand. Don't step on it. And I don't have to post something right now in the moment. That's the hardest thing for me to get my head around with social media is I like to do it now because I feel like it's happening in real time. You post it now. Everybody else posts things a day later, a week later, a month later, you know? And so I've had to realize that time is not linear online. And stuff. So anyway,
you should play that back to yourself while you're in Africa.
That's not going to happen. There are some things that I'm not going to change on, and that'll be one.
I will say that trip dominates everything.
Oh, Gavin's going to find out.
In that week, we will be posting everything. So I will say too, though, it's you're right. I did. I filmed a couple things over the last couple of days now that I still feel need to go out while Snowpocalypse is still semi-relevant, but a video the other day where I checked in, and even for me, I think I do internet decently well, but I still like you guys to with experience measure what stuff sounds good or what sounds good tonally. Yeah. But then last night I did a cold plunge. In our backyard. I'm should I have just thrown that on our Insta? But it was 8 o'clock by then.
The rules,
and that feels late to me.
The rules that Betty, again, she calls the shots. The rules that Betty has
God forbid.
But there are. She actually has crafted our strategy more so than me because I don't fully understand it all, And so if it's something quick that's a quick hit, it's not a produced thing and it's real quick. It goes in stories. If it's a kind of a one-off, I put a bunch of stories up on stuff.
Because sometimes
but things for reals, then it's check with her because she might already have something scheduled.
Because we've had people advise us in the past from a social media standpoint that everything can be a reel. Yeah. So stuff that you've posted on stories, even in the back of my head, I go, oh, that could probably be a reel. Yeah. It depends on it depends on what people say when it comes to overall strategy. But at the end of the day, it's about what Betty wants and also what we want to post online.
I tend to think that people view their content too highly and they put reels up that shouldn't be reels. Okay, you're wasting my time on this. And so for me, I look at my own content objectively and go, okay, that's a story. That should live in a story. That doesn't need to be a reel. And sometimes I'm wrong. It could be a reel, but I'm way harder on my own content than I am I don't want to post stuff that I think wastes people's time.
Even sometimes though within social media, depending on which app you're using, quantity over quality is king sometimes because it gets your stuff in front of a lot of people.
Yeah, we were talking the other day. We're I don't know if Gavin's going to leave us or not. And so at lunch, we were talking about this. And so...
For what?
What? I don't know. I just don't know if you're going to leave, someday.
Someday, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
It depends on if you guys leave first.
Yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. No, because you have family dynamics in place and things like that. And so you have, you want to be closer to family and stuff. And so I get all that. I found, it's the craziest thing. Sadly, I want you to test it. I found an app the other day that I want to try. And they're put in long form videos and it makes Instagram type TikTok cuts.
But it cuts it for?
It cuts it for you. It goes through and analyzes it. It's all AI. It cuts you the best 1 minute clips of it. And I did get to thinking, if this is good, if I was doing my own socials, I 100% would have something like that just because of time. But if it's good, it might save you some time too, where you could take the long interviews, do that, and get smaller stuff.
I'd be curious. Yeah. That is one of those things where it's it takes the art out of video editing, but
yeah,
I mean, I get it.
And most times, like I've tried a couple other programs that are like, do this and it does this for you, great. And it's like, no, it doesn't. It's nothing that I would have pulled. And so I don't know, but it's worth checking out. I think I mentioned Costco earlier.
Yeah, wow.
Did I say Costco?
How do we get there?
You did.
10 minutes ago? I don't remember now.
Zero clue.
This rabbit trail, I don't remember. Costco was going to take you, went to lunch, and then from there it was all downhill. Okay, got it. Costco facing a class action lawsuit over its $4.99 rotisserie chicken. There are 2 women in California, go figure, that have a problem. Wow. California, if we could just start annexing states, I would love that. I would be like, California, you hate everything about America anyway. Why don't you become Mexico North? And you are part of them, or you're your own thing. You just be your own country. I'm fine with that. They are just nuts. And so, and then maybe they won't keep moving here. But so they claim that Costco has falsely advertised their chicken as having no preservatives, even though the ingredients include sodium phosphate and carrageenan or something like that. And Costco, they say that Costco is misleading and violated customer protection laws. So Costco says, well, the ingredients are approved and used for moisture and texture, but they have removed the sign saying no preservatives just to be like, all right, fine, whatever, we don't care. But interestingly enough, both the women behind the lawsuit, this is what really chaps my is that these 2 ladies are like, oh yeah, we still plan to buy the chicken, but they just can't be trusted. Wait, so you were like, oh, I don't want preservatives or whatever, and so you're still gonna buy the chicken? No, if you're suing them and raising all of our member rates, you should not have some integrity and don't buy the chicken. They're just it's a money grab. It's just a gross. Oh, Costco's such a villain and they're misleading customers. You guys are nuts, man. And so it's dumb lawsuits like this that keep member prices going up. And ladies, you're getting a $5 rotisserie chicken. You're getting a hot dog and a Coke for $1.50. Shut up. Just enjoy it. Who cares what they say? I don't care if they call it rotisserie chicken. I don't care what they call it. It doesn't matter. Just enjoy a $5 chicken when everything else is so expensive. You just fed your family for $5. They're not putting cancer things in there. Deal with it. Nutsos. Anywho.
If you're going to complain, don't grow your own chicken.
Yeah, don't go eat it.
Grow your own chicken. That's what we've learned here.
Yeah,
exactly.
It's easy. You buy them, you hatch them.
I think I'm
eat 'em.
really. My TikTok feed has been filled with a bunch of political stuff lately, and I going Snowpocalypse. I had been out of it, and I was good, man. It was good, and then I get back into work and watching news and having to be up on stuff, and you get so frustrated. Betty was showing me something. She's like, "Hey, do you want to see this thing on Minnesota today on the TV?" And I wisely said, "No, I'm good. I've had enough of it on my feed. It's just gonna make me mad because there's parts of that story that drive me insane." And parts of it on both sides. To be fair, I'm kind of in the middle of things. I try to be as in the middle as I can. I see faults on both sides in that Minnesota stuff going on, but I'm definitely more on the right side of things, not the correct side, but the right-wing side of things. And so, it just angers me. And I'm learning that I have to minimize my exposure to that. Because I think, Gavin, you were saying something about... was it Gavin or Betty before the show? There was a story about what TikTok's feeding you. That's
a great segue.
Is it yours?
Mine.
There we go. We got there. Let's get to yours. It works perfectly.
Part of me was like, I wonder if he knows he's doing it.
I would just love to see you steal the whole thing.
No, that one was an accident. Honestly, that was an accident. I forgot what we were doing. But man, you're right. That was a stellar segue. What about that?
So with TikTok, there are allegations that they are allegedly suppressing certain political content. And this mainly comes from changes in the TikTok ownership. So I guess there's a new U.S. investor with TikTok. So there has been an uptick in people downloading a new app, and it's called Upscrolled. It's just an alternative to TikTok, but it was so seen such a tick in downloads that they actually crashed. So the app crashed It launched last year, and they claim that they are a neutral platform that doesn't suppress.
Okay.
So anything to do with the government, they don't suppress you from it. Of course, they have to keep in mind, serious things outside of government situations. But yeah.
There are a couple things with this. One, you say that there's a investor in TikTok that's U.S. because I think that was part of the conditions of a U.S. company had to be in control because China owns TikTok, and there was all the fear of them getting our data and nefarious things with that. And so they said, okay, because that's what, remember when they were going to ban TikTok, the compromise was that's fine.
You and Gavin were crying.
Oh, my gosh, I don't know what I would do.
Talking about you were sad.
I would, yeah, I'd cry a lot.
I still would.
Fully admitted.
Don't take my TikTok.
All of a sudden, what am I going to do with my life? I don't know.
That's 2 hours a day I have to figure out what to do.
I'm not going to read anything, so, But like that was part of the compromise. But the thing about this is, remember years ago when they talked about Russian getting into the election and Russia influenced the election. People at first thought, oh, they're stealing votes or they're doing this and doing stuff with ballot. No, they were affecting algorithms that was serving up people different political sides, and that's always the problem. Any of these apps. They're gatekeepers. They decide. Zuckerberg decides what goes on and off of Facebook. Their policies of that. There are things you can't post on Facebook. There are things you can't post on TikTok. But when it gets really dicey is when you start trying to censor ideas and you become that morality police or that gatekeeper for content. And it's always the trickiest thing of freedom of speech because freedom of speech, you can say a lot you want to say, but there can be consequences for what you say. But where is that line for a company to do this? And where it gets really murky is when their algorithms are serving you different things, because then it's conscious. Then it's like, okay, so like let's say you're really right wing and all they're doing is serving you right wing stuff that infuriates you because it's an echo chamber. And then you think, okay, I'm against everybody in the world because all these people are crazy, where they don't give you a balanced diet. They give you all sugar, kind of thing. And if they were giving you a balanced thing, you might see, oh, maybe the world isn't completely horrible. And when you look at, let's look at the Minnesota thing. Are there protests happening in other places? Yes. Are they happening like the Minnesota thing? No. But the Minnesota thing is different because the government is acting in a way that is emboldening people to behave the way they are behaving. Mm-hmm. And so it basically, it's the irony of this is, and we haven't talked about this much, but we should. The irony of this is that the complaints about January 6th, when people stormed the Capitol and, President Trump emboldened people to do this and blah, 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 blah. The Minnesota state governor and the mayor have basically done what they accused Trump of doing in emboldening people to take these actions. And I think even worse, And so that's where we're at right now. But this is a microcosm, and it's a few streets in a big city that this is going on. But when you see it and it's delivered to you, you think it's everywhere. Mm-hmm. And you think that we are in the worst time of our life and we have to fight everybody. And the reality of it is, it usually is never as bad as the few videos you see of what is going on. And you think that's an indication of the world, but there's so much more good that you see people taking care of people every day in their neighborhoods. Carlos Whitaker the other day, Gavin brought it up. He's this guy, he's an influencer. He lives his life on TikTok, Instagram, all that stuff. But the other day, he went to visit his neighbor because his 87-year-old neighbor, they had all lost power. He went to check on his neighbor, and his neighbor's in his car, and he looks slumped over, and he's like, oh, please be alive, please be alive. And he was trying to charge his battery, and he sat there and had oatmeal with him in his car. That's what happens more than the protests and more than the violence and things like that. But we don't see that. We don't get served that because it's not as salacious.
Yeah. Even the stories, in 2021, was it? We had a lot of protesting and a lot of people criticizing police officers. For
the Black Lives Matter
Black
stuff.
Lives Matter movement.
Yeah.
The Floyd.
George Floyd
stuff. And so you have all these people that they're going to see the worst of the worst. And so from that, you take your police opinion. And then, like, I know so many police officers that are genuinely good human beings, here to protect, here to serve us. And so even within, even within a microcosm of of certain like governmental agencies, like us acting like every single one of them are a horrifying human being, like that's something that is also a negative aspect of social media, is that we start to segment people into bad and good versus being like, man, that was a horrible mistake and shouldn't have happened. But there are still good people that are doing good work, even in a horrifying situation.
The irony of all of it is it's still stereotyping. Like, but because it fits your narrative, you don't see it as negative. But the reality is there's an Anthony Jeselnik joke, and he's like, I don't get racism. I like, why do you hate a whole group of people just because of the way they all behave? And so it's satire and it's sarcasm. But when you think about it, that's what happens like with the police. They're all bad. Mm-hmm. And that's not true. But because that fits your narrative and your story, that's what you believe. I am curious about the up-scrolling thing because it takes so long to build a really good platform. And it's weird. It feels like it has to just kind of catch fire of itself. Because when TikTok came out, there was up-scrolling, like that's been around for a year. There's probably other video formats that weren't as user-friendly or didn't attract people to do stuff, so they went by the wayside. Instagram, Facebook, I mean, these are the main ones. Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok are your main ones now. Yeah. Does up-scrolling have the ability to be the next TikTok? I almost want to download it to see, because I'm super curious about how a product like that evolves, So maybe we should download that and see. I remember when, like, some of our bosses in the past have always wanted to be on the cusp of things. And I remember one guy's like, man, you guys got to be on Pinterest. You guys got to have Pinterest pages. I'm like, really, dude?
It was big for a while there.
Yeah, I don't see that being a big thing for me. And do you remember what we posted on Pinterest, Betty Lou?
Mm-mm.
It was photos in the wild of people wearing wolf shirts.
Oh, the ones that are in the...
just any wolf shirt.
Oh, any wolf shirt.
It became the stereotype joke in the show, like a sarcastic joke about wolf shirts. We even made Wally Show wolf shirts. We should give some of those away because we still have them. But like, it was one of those things that I'm like, this is ridiculous. So just to be more ridiculous, we're like, okay, fine. This is what our Pinterest page is going to consist of. And it was the wrong medium for what we do. So it'd be interesting to see if up scroll can actually remain neutral, because that's hard to do when you are responsible for gatekeeping content. Let's do some birthdays here, Lady Rock.
We don't have any.
Oh, wow. Well, then let's do some of the other things we got to do today, and thank the people for being potties.
Thank you.
For being
Nicely
a potty.
done.